Hello class, this is the lecture video for chapter 8. We're going to continue to talk about the type in this chapter. Particularly, we're going to focus on three things in this chapter. How to use eyedropper to format a small quantity of objects, and how to use paragraph style to format a large volume of paragraphs in the same format. And that's the second thing. The third thing that we're going to talk about in this chapter is how to use character style to format a lot of text into the same format. Before we talk about that, I would encourage you guys to take a look at page 208 to page 213. Those 6 pages basically give us a general idea of how to design a newsletter. Actually give us a very good example, a very beautiful newsletter. And it also provide the terms that we normally use in the process of creating a newsletter. Those terms such as nameplate, which is actually the banner, sometimes is also called the banner of the newsletter, standing head, kicker, ensign, foil, footer, header, drop cap, etc. So strongly encourage you to take a look at that so that you can really understand the fundamental stuff of creating a newsletter. And in this chapter, when we talk about the three things, again, how to use eyedropper, how to use paragraph style, and how to use character style to format the text, we are actually going to do a project together, and so that you guys can learn from doing. And so let's start it from page 215. We're going to create a document from scratch. As you can see, I already have my InDesign open right now. So we're going to create a document. You can click here or simply press Command N. Let me click here. And we are going to have a letter sized. So here's letter size, that's right. Number of page, so we want to have a full page. And facing pages, according to the textbook on page 215, we're supposed to have the facing page on, so check it. Previously, we always check off the facing page. And now we're checking it on. What's the difference of checking it off and checking it on? We're going to talk about that quite soon, a little bit later. Columns. According to the requirement, we want to have 4 columns. Gutter. The gutter width should be 0.1875 inch. Gutter should be 0.1875. Make sure you put the inch over here. When you move your cursor to some other places, this value will be automatically changed into the default unit. Can be pica, can be inch, whatever it is. So if we click here, as you can see, it's changed into pica. That's because right now the whole system of InDesign is by default using pica as the unit. So that's fine. The value should be correct here. And then one more thing about the gutter value. The gutter value is the space between the 2 columns. And then we're going to set up the top, bottom, and outside margin as 0.5 inch. So top, bottom, and outside value 0.5 inch. That's 3 pica. So it's right. We don't need to change it. but according to the textbook, we want the inset margin, this margin, to be 0.25 inch. So in order to do that, we need to click here, break the link first, and then change this thing .25 inch, and you can see that's 1 pica, 66 point. Double check all the requirement, make sure every value is correct, looks like they are correct. So we can just, there's no bleed and slug, so we're going to just say okay. And this is the document that we created. If you click the page panel, you will see that we have a full page created in this document. This is the first page, the second page, the third page, the fourth page. If you create another page, it will goes here, not here. See, if you create another page, it will goes to here. But we don't need that page, so keep full page. This is how it looks like when you keep the facing page on. When you keep the facing page on, except the first page, all the pages will go like a pair. And this is called one facing page. One facing page has two single pages. Let's say if we go back to the preset, I guess, here, setup, document setup, if we uncheck this facing page, and you can see those are all single pages, so there's no facing page. That's the difference between checking the facing page, check on the facing page, or check off the facing page. So let's make it facing, back to facing pages, because we need facing page in this case. So here we have a facing page. A facing page is also called a spread. And you may see we have 4 pages. A newsletter normally has 4 pages. And this is the first page, and then the second page, the third page, the fourth page is actually the back page. This is the front cover, this is the back cover. But if you put the document this way, when you print it out, you need to have, let's say you need to have 3 papers, and one paper for this cover page, and one paper for those 2 pages, the second page and the third page, and one page just for the fourth page. And when it's printed out, you need to cut this half off, and cut the margins of this, cut this half off. That's kind of like a wasting of the paper. So sometimes we wanted to try to move this page to this area. That way we only need 2 pieces of papers. One piece is for those 2 pages. The other piece is for those 2 pages. That way we're going to save some paper. So how do we do it? First of all, we want to click here, make sure that those 2 pages, page 2 and 3 are selected, and then we want to go to the menu, allow select the spread to shuffle. We say no. If we uncheck that, that means you see a bracket here. Page 2 and 3 are connected together. That way you can't, nobody can move, split those 2 pages. So, and now we can try to move page 4 to this area. not working. So I just Command Z and make it back. Maybe we want to check this one, allow it to shuffle. Okay, and now we put the fourth page to here. You notice that the page number here is changed, but it doesn't matter. Actually, this is the fourth page. So we can select those two again and then uncheck this. And put those two pages together also. So now we have, this is the page 4, the back cover. This is the page 1, the front cover. This is the second page. This is the third page. And they're in the right position. And the textbook also talk about a snippet. Snippet is a small items that you will use very often in a newsletter. Let's see, we can create a snippet. Let's see, we can use, let's use this. Create a little star. Press Shift and drag it so that we can have a perfect star. Let's give the star a red color. And then give it red fill, and then give it a, let's say, green stroke. Give a stroke, bigger stroke, 5 point. Sounds great. Maybe we want to change the type of this. Looks good. Maybe we can make it larger so that you can see how it's a beautiful star. Select this, and let's say we wanted to put it in this area, and then select it, go to File, export it, format, hold on, we didn't really select it, I guess. We need to make sure we select the star and then export it. You have a lot of choices. Here we want to choose InDesign Snippet. Say Save. So what we have done is that we created a small atom and we save it as a snippet here on the desktop. And later on, you can delete it. Later on, when you need it, you can just press Command D, go to desktop and find it. You click it, you will find it. Just as import a graph. But the special thing about a snippet is that if, let's delete it, if you go to InDesign Preferences, File Handling, and this is the File Handling dialog box, see there is a choice about a snippet import. By default, the choice is the position is at the cursor location. So you use Command D, import the snippet, and wherever you click, the snippet will be over there. But if you choose the original location, say OK. Now let's import the snippet. Now I'm clicking here. And notice the snippet goes to the original position where you created. So that means those small atoms, when you create it for the first time, for the first issue of the newspaper, and you save them in a folder, later on for the second issue, for the third issue of your newspaper or newsletter, you simply, if you change the default into original position, and then you import them, anywhere you click it, they will automatically go to the original position. So you don't need to try to figure out exactly what position those small atoms should be every time. And that's a very convenient thing in InDesign. And the project that we are trying to work right now is called a Healthy Pet Newsletter. Actually, it has a lot of snippets. So let's look at those snippets. We're going to work from the first page first. We don't need this one, so delete it. Make sure we are on the first page. Again, this is the page 1, this is the page 2. So if you look at it here, this is the page 1, this is the page 2. And Command D is find the artwork and resources folder for chapter 8. I save it here. Project materials, chapter 8, Healthy Pet Newsletter, snipped. Here, all the snippets are saved here. You see the BC means back cover, FC means front cover, and P2 means page 2. P3 means page 3. So let's select all the snippets on the front cover. So we select all FC, 5 items, 5 snippets. Say open. And here, clearly we are still on page 1, so we just click here. It goes to the original position. That's where it was created as a snippet. So we put the 5 snippets here. You don't need to worry about should you adjust the position or not. It will automatically go to where it was created. So like I said, you just need to create those snippets in the first issue of your newsletter, and later on it will automatically go to where you want them to be. So let's do the same thing for the back cover. Command D. Back cover, we have 1, 2, 3 items. And again, make sure which page you are working on. Double check. So here is page 2. Click, click, click. Now we have the 3 snapped go to. This is actually page 4, the back cover. Now let's place the snaps for page. Let's say this is second page. Command D for second page, page 2. I want to put this snapped in, this snapped in, this snapped in. The spread head, I'm going to leave it for now. We're not going to place it that thing in. So open, click, click, click. 3 snips. And page 4. Well, actually page 3. Again, we're going to leave the spread head, so we're going to place those 2. So, for now, we pretty much placed all these snips into this newsletter except 2 of them. Those are spread head. We're going to do that quite soon. I think we missed one thing, and that is we on the bottom of page 216, it asks us to do something on the front cover. So let's go to front cover, which is page 1. And we need to pull a horizontal get. So put your cursor here, click, and pull a get down. Notice it does not go to this page if you click from here. And if you click something from here, it will go to everywhere. We don't need that, so delete it. Select this get because we need to continue to work on it. And the textbook asks us to put that get onto 2.25 inch on the y coordinate. So select y. It should be 2.25 inch. Say return. And that's the position it wanted to be. So we just leave that get over there. We've done the snipped. So let's take a look at those snipped. Page 1. This is page 4. Everything looks fun. Let's go to page 3, 2, and 3. Notice that there are 3 chords here. We have this chord, and this chord. Those 2 are in the same format, but this one is in a different format. So let's say we are going to set this chord as the same format as those 2. How are we going to do it? And because again this is a small quantity, so we can simply use eyedropper. This is the eyedropper tool. Double click at the eyedropper tool. Make sure that we want at least 2 of the stuffs is selected. I mean, everything is selected. That's fine. Okay, so let's keep everything selected. But actually, since we are just working with the text here right now, if you just click stroke, fill, character setting, it should be fine. But let's keep everything selected, and then you see you click the eyedropper tool, and then the cursor will start to become a eyedropper, but it's a hollow eyedropper. Nothing in the middle, which means the eyedropper has not been loaded with the format yet. And so we need to go to the format that we want to use here. Let's say here, and then click. And now notice that the eyedropper has been changed. Now it's loaded, so that means the format has been loaded with it. And let's go to here and select the text that we want to apply with this format. And you can see that automatically it will change this text into this format. And this is the best way to work with the quotes, because quotes normally has just a little volume of text or something else. So you can just use eyedropper to format them, make sure that they have the same format. However, in newsletter, once we put all the articles in, they will have a lot of text, and you can see the front page, that's the back cover, second page, the third page. There will be a lot of text, and we can't use eyedropper to format the whole newsletter because that will take a lot of time. So in order to format all the text in the newsletter, sometimes in a book, we need to use paragraph style and character style to make things easier for us. I already have my paragraph style and character style panels here. If you do not see yours, you can go to Window, find Style, and then you will see the paragraph style and the character style here. The textbook mentioned several ways of creating styles. If you turn to page 221, it actually mentioned 6 ways of creating paragraph style. Since there are 6 ways of creating paragraph style, clearly there are also 6 ways of creating character style. So let's look at the 6 ways of creating paragraph style first, and then you can learn how to create character style from the method that you learned from how to create the paragraph styles. And the first way of creating a paragraph style is creating a paragraph style from the sample text. So let's go to the last page. Switch back to the selection tool. And you can see that we have a sample paragraph here. This is the subhead. This is the body text. Let's say we're going to just use this subhead style and this body text style for the whole newsletter. And then what we need to do is that we need to create a paragraph style. Let's create the subhead style first. So we are going to put our cursor into this subhead. And then let's open paragraph style. You can click the menu and click new paragraph style, or click this one, or press option click this one. So we have the new paragraph style dialogues open. Make sure it's based on no paragraph style, and you will understand what this means very soon. But for now, make sure it's no paragraph style. And if you look at here, the typeface is Myriad Pro, and the style is bold, condensed, italic. Where did InDesign get this information? You get it from the sample text. So just leave everything as default. Go back to general. Make sure this box is checked, because if you do not check this box, you create a paragraph style and you can't use it. So make sure this thing is checked, and we want to rename it. Call it, let's call it headline. Here, shortcut key. If you are using a laptop, like I'm using a laptop right now, you can't create shortcut. But if you are working with a desktop computer, then you can use the modifier keys such as Shift, Control, Option, Command. Those modifier keys plus a number on your number pad and create a shortcut key. Say if you are using a desktop computer, you can press Command and press 1, create a shortcut key of Command 1. What it means is that later on, when you try to apply this paragraph style, you can simply press Command 1, and then this paragraph style will be called out and applied to the text. And like I said, I'm using a laptop computer right now, so I don't need to think about that. One more thing, when you create these shortcut keys, you want to make sure that your shortcut key for the paragraph style is unique. It should not be the same as other shortcut keys, which means you cannot use Command 1, because Command 1 normally is the shortcut key for viewing the document at 100%. So we need to say OK, and look at here, we've created a headline paragraph style. And if you move your cursor here, select if you click headline paragraph style, you will see all the text, the whole paragraph has been changed into this headline style. That's the thing of paragraph style. Paragraph style means if you put your cursor anywhere in that paragraph, and if you apply that style, it will be applied to the whole paragraph. Character style, which we are going to discuss later on, means if you want to apply that style to that character, you have to select it. So now we're going to hit Command Z and do it. When we make sure that this body text go back to its original style. And put a cursor here, press Command, click again, because we are going to create another paragraph style. It's again called paragraph style 1, but if you check here, it's not body condensed, it's regular, and the font size is different. So this is selected, that's great. We call it this body copy. And this is the body copy. Again, if you put your cursor here, you see headline is applied here, but if you click a body copy, and the headline will be changed. If you click back to headline, the paragraph style is again applied over there. So that's the first way of creating a paragraph style. You can put your cursor in the text that has been applied with the style and then create a new style based on the sample. The second way of creating paragraph styles is transfer styles from another InDesign document. So let's make sure we do not select everything. We do not select anything, because if you accidentally select something on InDesign, you may change it, and that's the key point when you work with InDesign. You have to be very careful. We just switch back to Selection tool, click somewhere outside of the document, then nothing will be selected, and then go to the menu of the paragraph style, load paragraph styles. Okay, so again, we're going to find the artwork and resources document. Project materials, chapter 8. We have a document here, and so let's select here. That document contains some paragraph styles. So look at it here. Right now we only have actually 3 paragraph styles. But if we say OK, and you will see that the document that we found has many styles, and those are the paragraph styles. And there's also a character style. So let's check all. Let's say check all. We're going to check all and say OK. If you look at the paragraph style, now we have, except the 3 that we have created, we imported, we loaded 4 more paragraph styles. Character styles, look at it. Previously we only have 9. I mean, that's actually not a character style, so we loaded 1 right now. Okay, so that's the second way of creating paragraph styles. You can load your paragraph style from another document. And the third way of creating paragraph style is based on other styles. So let's say we're going to press Option and click this create a new paragraph style icon. So we call out this paragraph style dialog box again, and we want to call this as body copy indent. And this is the general path. So based on, we want to choose based on body copy. This is the body copy. We create this body copy based on the sample text. So we want to based on that body copy. And keep, those are the families, font size, everything looks fine. The only thing that we want to change to make the body copy indent different from body copy is here in the indents and the spacing. We want to create a left indent of 0.1 to 5 inch. So it's left indent 0.1 to 5 inch. And then let's say OK. So that's body copy indent. And if you put your cursor here, see that's the difference between body copy indent. Body copy indent, you have an indent here. Body copy, you do not have an indent here. And the thing that when we select the body copy indent, the text has a shallow red background. That means actually it's using some font typeface that computer does not have it. So it's not really a problem. Let's look at it here. In the body copy, we used Marriott Pro regulars 10, 11. In the body copy indent, it should be the same thing. 10, 11 regular, but the font size is different. So why not we just find Marriott Pro. Say OK. And now if we use body copy indent, yeah, you see the shadow background is gone. Okay, so let's keep this and make sure this is again body copy. That's the third way of creating a paragraph style. We create a body copy indent. And that notice that the body copy indent is based on body copy. Based on means body copy is the parent of the body copy indent style. So later on, whatever change you made to body copy, it will automatically be applied to body copy indent because there is a based on relationship. So please keep that in mind. And now another way of creating a new paragraph style is simply create a new paragraph style. So again, we want to make sure nothing is selected. Press Option, click this dialog box, and here based on, we want to make sure it based on no paragraph styles. And we want to give it a name called Kicker. Kicker is a prehead before the subhead or the headline of the, like this paragraph. If there is a small prehead over here, normally it's called a kicker, or sometimes it may be called standing head. That's the difference. So we're going to create a style for the kicker. We name it a kicker based on no paragraph style, and then in the basic character format, we are going to choose Adobe GaryMod Pro. So Adobe GaryMod Pro, you see it come out already. And size, here style, we want to be italic. Size, we want it to be 14 point. So it's 14 point. You can choose it from here, 14 point. And the leading value is automatic. That should be 120% of the font size. Indent, space aft, so we want to leave some space after this kicker so that there will be some space between the kicker and the headline. Space aft, let's put it as 0.0625 inch. Make sure the inch is there. Paragraph rule, we want a row below and check row on. The weight should be 0.5. Color, black. You can choose other color, but we want black here. Offset, which is the distance between the paragraph row and the text above it. So the offset value here is supposed to be 0.0766 inch. Width, you can choose column, you can choose text. If you choose column, then the paragraph row, we discussed this already, well, goes from one end of the column to another end of the column. But if you choose text, it will stop wherever the last line of the text stopped. So let's choose text. Look at back, make sure that everything has been done. Looks real fun. Go back to general, make sure this is checked and say OK. So this is the kicker. And if we put our cursor here, select kicker, now you will see this is the kicker style that we've been just created. Go back to headline and make sure nothing is selected again. So that's how to create a new paragraph style from scratch. And the fifth way of creating a paragraph style is duplicate an existing style. So let's see how we are going to duplicate an existing style. We want to duplicate an existing style. We created a kicker style already, so we want to duplicate it and make another paragraph style that is similar to it. So in order to duplicate a paragraph style, you want to select it first and then click Menu, Duplicate Style. It's called a kicker copy. We want to rename it Health Focus Standing Head. Based on, make sure it's no paragraph style. Basic character format. Now it's using this. Basically, this is the setup for the kicker style. We only want to change one thing. Now it's italic. We want to change it into bold italic. So that's one difference we made between the kicker style and the health focus standing head. Okay, so make sure everything else is fine, then click OK. Now let's take a look at the health focus standing head, which we just created. Here it is. See, it's quite close, quite similar to the kicker style, but only it's bolded. This is the kicker style. As you see the differences here. So again, let's make it back to headline style. Click here, make sure nothing is selected. The last way of creating a paragraph style is that sometimes you place a snippet, and the snippet may have a style already, and then it will bring in another style. So let's see how we're going to do that. Command D. Remember, we have two spread heads that we haven't imported yet. Here is one page 2 spread head and page 3 spread head. Make sure we are working on page 2 and page 3. Oh, here's page 2, page 3. Okay. I pressed Command 0 so that we can see the whole document here. So let's Command D, place page 2 spread and page 3 spread head. Say OK. And this is page 2 spread head. And this is the page 3 spread head. Let's look at the paragraph style. Now notice that we have a new paragraph style called spread headline. That is this paragraph style is brought into our document by those two headlines because they are using a different style. Clearly, it's different from the text in this paragraph. So that style is called spread headline style. If you double click it, you can see the setup. They're using Adobe Garamada Pro, regular style, and the font size is quite big. Tracking. So those are the settings for the this style. But you will notice that if we select this, and then it's called spread headline style. And if we select this one, oh, we did something. Right, we did something. It was actually the text actually was here, not here. So let's see. Okay, now this is the original thing. And you can see there is a plus sign here. Select this one. It's just a spread headline. Select this one. It's spread headline, but there's a plus sign there. The plus sign means that the paragraph we selected has been applied this paragraph style, but it also adds something onto this style. And that's what we call override. What has been added onto this paragraph? If you look at this paragraph, the difference is that this one is what we call red flashed, and this one is left flashed. So that means the spread headline style is actually should be red flashed. And this thing, it used the spread headline style, but it add a left flash onto it. That's a override. That's why we have a plus sign here. If you do not want to have the plus sign, you simply click it. The plus sign will be gone, and that thing added onto this style will be gone. And this paragraph right now is also red flashed. We want to keep that override, so I'm doing Command Z to get the additional thing, the override back, so that you can see that plus sign is still here. Okay, now we make sure nothing is selected again. Now we've created all of those paragraph styles. The next thing that we're going to do is to create the character styles. Oh, one more thing. We want to create a style group first. Look at the paragraph styles. We have body copy and body copy indent. You can move it, those two, make them together. We have kicker, we have headline, and then we have a lot of house focus, standing head, house focus subhead, and we have this spread headline. But we have a lot of stuff called health focus. That means in the newsletter there's a table called health focus. Those styles are basically created to format things in that table. So those are all called health focus, and we can actually put them as a group. So let's select the menu, find new style group, call it health focus, and then we can select all the and move them into this folder, this group. So that way, if you click here, you will put them in the folder, and if you click the back again, everything will be displayed here. So this is how to create a paragraph style folder, a group. Now let's look at the character style. We have no character style, but we imported one from the document. Now let's create two more character styles. We want to press Option, click this, create a new icon, and call it a body copy board. Based on, we want to make sure it's based on none, and then format, we want to use Marriott Pro board. Font size, let's put it 10. Lighting 11. Make sure again this thing is selected. Say OK. So this is the character style. Again, the character style, you need to select the text. So for example, if you just put your cursor here and go to character style, this is the paragraph style. Character style, and select it, nothing will happen. Because again, you need to select the character and then apply the character styles. So I'm pressing Command Z to undo it. We created one already. I think in this newsletter we just need that one. So we pretty much have all the paragraph style and the character styles that we will need so far. Again, like I said, all the ways that you use to create the paragraph styles, you can also use them to create the character styles. But we do not need to create so many character styles so for right now. So let's put the content into the newsletter, and then we're going to apply those styles to the newsletter, to the text. Let's work on the first page first. Let's find the newsletter articles. And the first page we have the new equipment article, should you article, and public classes article. So 3 of them. And let's see if we can, this is the public classes. And the new equipment, as well as should you. Say open. Okay. I want to hit Command Z, because before I import those documents, I want to make sure nothing is selected here. It should be none. Otherwise, it will create trouble. Here, nothing should be selected. So it's just a basic paragraph, okay? And then let's again import those articles, public classes, new equipment, should you. This looks right. And the should you article should go to this area. Great news should go here. And the public class should go here. And this is a totally different style, but we needed to change everything into body copy first. Body copy. I see. And this gives you an idea of how to applying the paragraph styles. You just select the text and sorry, let's go. And then click the paragraph style. Wow, looks like it's a long text frame. Okay, now it's fine. So we make sure that those are using the body copies, and for this one, the tag is the headline. Put your cursor here and choose the headline style. So you use the headline style. This same thing here. We want to use headline style for this public classes and the telephone. And maybe the telephone we want to centralize it. Not really. But if you want to centralize it, remember it's Shift Command C, and then we'll go to the middle, or Command Z. Just take it off. So we are done for those two. Let's work on the first article. The first article, we can actually also the new equipment, that's the headline style. So we just use headline style here. And the great news for pet owners, that should be the kicker style. So let's select. You can choose kicker from here, or actually you can find kicker from even here. Quick apply. Kicker. Say OK. So that's the kicker style also. And notice that this article actually is 2 columns. So we wanted to select the text frame, press Command B, call out the text frame option, and give it 2 columns. So now it's 2 column. But notice that the headline and the kicker are also limited into 1 columns, and actually we want them to go through the 2 columns. So select them and then go to paragraph control formatting control panel. Go to here. There's an icon called span columns. Right now it spans 9, and we have 2 columns, so we can span 2 columns, or you can select span all. In this case it means 2 columns. So if you select span all, it's the same thing. So it looks good right now, and there's some space over here, and if you want, you can adjust, select the text and adjust the lighting, the kerning, whatever you want to do. So let's see if we're going to press Option and press the red arrow. We're changing the kerning a little bit. You can't see the differences, but it looks good right now. So that's for the first page. Let's do the same thing for the last page. Well, I guess we didn't really have time to do the whole newsletter here. But you get the idea of how to apply in those stuffs. Before we finish this chapter, we want to talk about 2 things, 3 small things. One thing is what we call the redefine styles. You know that here in first page and the last page, those headlines, they all use this headline style. So right now we have here this headline, this headline, this headline, this headline, and even this, they are using the same style called headline style. Let's say you want to make some change to one of the headlines that use this style. For instance, if we want to change public classes, let's say public classes, we found that, well, now if you think the color is not good, let's change it into red. Okay, now it's red color. And then you will notice that when you put your cursor in this headline, look at the paragraph style again, there's a plus sign here. Why there's a plus sign? Because there's an override added onto the headline paragraph style. What is the override here? That's the color. See, everything use headline uses the blue color, and this headline uses the headline style, but we add a red color onto it. That's why it has an override. You already know that if you double click, you just click this headline, double click it, I guess. No. Maybe just click the plus sign. well, we're just going to click here, and you will see the overred is cleared and it get back to its original color. If you click and Command Z, then the line was added again because the clearing overred was undone. And so that's the overred. If you do not like it, you can clear the overred. But if you like it, and furthermore, you want the red color become part of the paragraph style, which means you want all the color to become red. And then you can go to the menu, select redefine style. Of course, you can also use the shortcut key here. If you redefine the style, what will happen is that the overred become part of the style, then everything use this style will be applied with the same color. So that is the redefine style. That's one thing we want to talk about. The second thing that we want to talk about is font and change. And notice there's an R here, and this R actually should be a registration mark. So let's InDesign can help you to find all of those R's and change it into the registration mark that we want to have. So let's make sure we do not select anything. Go to Edit, Font and Change. We want font R and change it into symbols, registered trademark symbol. It shows like this here, but when you change all and see, look at it here, it's been changed into a registered trademark, same as here, as somewhere else. So that's one thing you can do. You can not only change it into registered trademarks, you can also change it into other copyright symbols or other symbols. So it's very good. It's a very good feature in InDesign. That's the second thing. The third thing is that when you have everything done, you want to print or export this document into PDF. So let's export it. Say we're going to export it into desktop, keep the name, and print, save. And then here you will have an option. You can change it, you can export it into pages, which means you will have 4 single pages again. Or you can export it as spreads. If you export it as spreads, and then you will have 2 pages together rather than 4 single pages. Okay, so this will be how it looks like if you change it, if you export it into spreads. That covers pretty much everything that we want to discuss in Chapter 8. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.